So week 4 of the off season started off with the max effort lower body work, which was pause squats this week. So tried to do sort of a 1 second pause in the hole and then push on from there. Took sort of 3 attempts and tried to do sort of an opener, then a second, then a third. So my choice was 155, 170, 185. This was my first go at 185, so I banged off the right hand upright. I then tried to re-pause it and then tried to grind through, and struggled at my sticking point. I knew I had it, so I loaded it up and went again. And yeah, that played out quite well. It was one of those occasions where I knew I had the weight, so I didn't want to move on without hitting it. And having an opportunity to hit an all-time squat PR and a variation was something I was really happy with. So I wanted to have a good go. So I'd be quite happy with that in a competition. Obviously, I think it puts me my raw squat in good stead for sort of that 190 to 200 range moving forwards. The second day was the max effort upper body work. So this week was the freeboard. So I used the bench blocks I've got. This first one was 120. I ended up crashing off the pins again, classic. Then moved to the pins down and hit 130. So it was a bit of a grindy rep. I think if I'd had a spotter, I would have felt more comfortable going for about 132, 135. But I didn't have a spotter, so I wasn't happy doing that. I think in the future, I was quite disappointed with this because I expected to sort of hit around the 140 range. But I think at the moment, I don't know if it's because I'm dieting or what's going on, but I didn't manage to hit that. Did some down sets on the max effort freeboard. Finished off with 95 for a set of 12 off the freeboard. A lot of tricep work going on there. I find my freeboard seems to look like I don't really press as much. It's more of a rotation, like in a shirt. I'm not sure if that's just a bad habit or that's okay. But I seem to just want to rotate my elbows down instead of bending them, which is fine, but it's just something interesting moving forwards. My next day was dynamic effort lower body, which was one of the funnest sessions I've had in a while. So we did 12 sets of 3 on the modified sort of cambered bar to a box. So I used a box about depth-ish. These were awful. I found these really difficult. So the weights are swinging all over the place. So if you look at especially the right hand side, it seems to go a little bit mental. So using these was quite difficult. I powered through them and sort of found that I was coming quite forward into some almost like a bending over good morning sort of position on some of them, but I wasn't too worried. My form seemed to get better and I sort of worked on the speed and getting used to the wobble and the sort of momentum shift as the cambered bar upright things went backwards as they swung forwards again. Once I was sat on the box, I was able to sort of generate quite a decent amount of power. I did end up having to stabilise quite a lot at the top, as you'll see. I think it's on this last rep and all over the place. I nearly fell over on a couple as well, which was quite funny. So any feedback on these box squats would be brilliant in terms of making sure I'm doing them right. Obviously, I'm not as familiar with box squats as I am with the sort of free squat stuff based on my training background. My last set, as always, is my best set. It seems to be with the speed work, so it's just getting the right balance of rocking back in terms of to kill my momentum a bit more and also not letting the cambered bar bully me around. So I was quite happy with these moving forwards. Moving on to the speed deadlift. The speed deadlift, I lowered my percentage of max in terms of I lowered it to 227 instead of the 250. Everything was 135 and everything moved really quick as expected. So be more sets next week and see how that goes. Speed bench, didn't put in the sets of 62.5, whatever it was this week. Just showed you the max one here, just to prove I did it. Nothing crazy as always on speed bench, just got it done. Felt nice and quick, feeling really good upper body movement wise and quite enjoying all the hypertrophy work, so I'll keep that going. And feeling quite confident with my bench moving forwards. I was especially happy with what will be the last clip in the third next clip. Coming up now. Was really happy with my speed with it was 85 again, so excited to move that up moving forwards. But yeah, another good week, looking forward to the next sort of couple goes.